pleasant and a wonderful day to all of you. In the previous video, we learnt about the causes of assertive nationalists. If you haven't watched the video, don't forget to click on the link given in the description. In this video which you are about to watch, you will be learning about the beliefs, objectives, and the methods of assertive nationalists. The assertive nationalists had no faith in the British sense of justice and fair play. They deeply hated the foreign rule and had no faith in the assurance given by the British to the Indians. They denied that India could progress under the benevolent guidance of the British. They believed that the Indians themselves must work out their salvation. They declared that great sufferings and sacrifices were needed for this task. Swaraj was the main objective of the assertive nationalists. The meaning of Swaraj is complete independence. They did not want to be ruled by the British or any other foreign rule anymore. Methods of assertive nationalists. The main focus of the assertive nationalists was to get a larger share for Indians in the administration of their country and to end Britain's economic exploitation of India. They believed that these objectives could not be realized without pressure tactics and some sort of direct action. Hence, they adopted the policy of non-cooperation and resistance to unjust acts of the British government. They gave new slogans to the national movements like non-cooperation, passive resistance, mass agitation, self-reliance, etc. The methods adopted by them can be grouped into 4 categories. The first one is Swadeshi. Swadeshi means producing necessary items in one's own country and using them for one's use without being dependent on imported goods. The Swadeshi idea was popularized by occasional bonfires of foreign cloth, salt, and sugar. The second category is boycott. Swadeshi and boycott are 2 sides of the same coin. Economic boycott of British goods and use of Swadeshi was designed to encourage Indian industries and provide the people with more opportunities for employment. It also proved as a most effective weapon for harming British interests in India. The third category is the national education. A national scheme of education was planned which was to replace that of government-controlled universities and colleges. The assertive nationalists tried to enlist the students in their service. When the British government threatened to take disciplinary action against the students, the national leaders advocated national universities that were free from government control. A large number of national schools were established in East Bengal. Bengal National College was set up at Kolkata and Panchayappa National College at Chennai. In Punjab, the DAV movement made considerable effort in spreading education through various schools and colleges. Efforts were also made to give education a national orientation in the vernacular languages. The fourth category is the passive resistance. The assertive leaders believed in adopting the policy of non-violent resistance and vigorous political action to achieve their aims. They believed that political rights could not be won by an organization which could not distinguish between begging rights and claiming them. They therefore asked the people to refuse to cooperate with the government and to boycott government services, courts, schools, and colleges. They advocated courage, self-confidence, and a spirit of sacrifice to achieve their goal of Swaraj. Beside the above said methods, the other methods used by these leaders were: number 1, revivalism, that is, the assertive nationalists revived self-respect by referring to India's past glory. These leaders planned the national movement on people's religious beliefs. Tilak revived the Shivaji festival in 1895. The assertive nationalists presented Chandragupta Vikramaditya, Rana Pratap, and Shivaji as the national heroes, whose memory could inspire the masses to fight for their country. The second is the personal sacrifices. The followers of the movement used self-reliance and were ready for self-sacrifice, suffering, and hardships to achieve their goal. And third is mass involvement. They had an abiding faith in the strength of the masses and proposed to win freedom through mass action. They aroused the masses by influencing them with their sacrifices and sufferings.